this is Al. On this video, I would like to go into more like a continuation, a part two, on the topic of privacy lost. Anyone who's seen the movie, the classic movie 1984, where basically you can't do anything without the government watching you and knowing what you've done, and in the movie, you know, everyone's basically forced to be in line and do everything the way they want. Like in one scene in the movie, someone's doing something in their front room and a little bitty remote craft hovers in front of the window and looks in to see if they're doing anything wrong. But when that movie came out, I think it actually came out in 1984, we didn't really have that technology, but we do now. The unmanned drones, I guess most people would be aware, it's basically an airplane that nobody flies. You sit in a room and you control it inside a room. By their own admissions, there's 1,600 of them currently made and in use. So that's 1,600 of these unmanned drones spaced out across all of America, flying all day and all night, you know, with cameras on them, so that, you know, they can watch anything anyone does. You know, the young generation now, they're growing up in a society where their privacy and freedoms are more limited. So we're getting a generation now that's not used to how things used to be, and it's no big deal to them, but it is a big deal if you study history of countries, if you study the history of all the countries in the world, and especially those countries in where the governments have oppressed the people, okay? They say that the government in general is 20 years ahead of society when it comes to technology. So whatever things that you see or know about or can get your hands on, imagine going 20 more years into the future, and that's where the government is today, okay? So, like, you know, you're walking down the street, they're unmanned drones, they can point the camera on you, put it in zoom, tell what color eyes you have, use their face recognition technology to say who you are, where you are. You know, I'm trying to not make the videos too long because people will get bored and they won't watch the whole thing, but I could probably sit here for about an hour straight and go into detail about this, about why it's bad, why it is so bad, the way that our privacy is being infringed upon, you know, and the way, you know, the government's getting bigger, they're getting more powerful, telling people more and more what to do, you know. You know, there's congressmen that want to make it so that every new car made has a black box on it, so that, you know, they can basically at will on the computer tell where every single car is at every single second. You know, it hasn't passed. I'm hoping it ain't, you know, ain't even close to possibly passing. But what a lot of people don't understand is there's a number of people in our government that don't have good intentions, don't care about the people, don't care about the people's freedoms. Their main goal is more power and more control. Just to throw a disclaimer, I'm not, quote, anti-government. That word likes to get thrown out a lot. Anytime someone has an issue with government, you know, overstepping their bounds and putting their foot on top of people's heads and controlling every single thing they do, whenever someone has an issue with that, they throw the term at you, you're anti-government, and that automatically is supposed to discredit you and make people go, oh, he's one of them anti-government freaks. We can't believe anything he says. I'm not anti-government. I'm for government staying within the realms of the Constitution and within the limits that were placed upon it. When our government was created, they placed restrictions on what it can do so that it wouldn't get out of control. And they have the three different branches, and one can keep the other in check, and no one person or one branch is supposed to be able to go out of control without being put back in line. When we came here from Great Britain, we were trying to escape a government that totally dominates over the people and doesn't allow them to have freedoms that men are given, born with, okay? So basically, I'm not going to make the video too long because people are going to turn it off, but everyone can do their own research. Just go online and look up the stuff. You know, you can look up the Utah Data Center, like I said before. You can look up unmanned drones, and you can type in, you know, how many are there. But without speaking for 2 hours like I could do, I will just tell you that people need to wake up, and you need to understand that everything that's being done now has a general direction, and that direction is to increase their control and to limit our freedoms, limit our movements, limit our independence. They don't want people to be independent. They don't want people to question anything that's said. They want people to step in line like a bunch of sheep and just go with the program. You know, I've never been happy with being a sheep. But all I ask is, don't watch any of my videos and say, ooh, I'm going to believe him. Ooh, I'm not going to believe him. Sit down and do your own research and look up this stuff. Our privacy and our freedoms, they're launching a full-scale battle to restrict them as much as possible. And once the government decides that they don't care for one person for whatever reason, you know, it would be hard to avoid them. But anyway, I don't want to ramble on. And like I said, I would like to go in lots of detail, but people don't want to sit and watch a 1-hour video. But I'll do more on it in the future. Thanks for watching.